Hello everyone, this is Team Charlie's midterm project. We all interviewed a few people from BSU to get different views on education, and we'll be going over those interviews with you. My name is Erin Jukes, and I interviewed my two friends, Donald and Alexis. They are both chemistry majors, same as me. In my interview with Alexis, I focused on Paulo Freires' reading, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, about problem-posing education and banking system education. I asked her about what type of education she saw being done at BSU. Her response was, quote, in the math department, it's more of a banking system, but most of the classes are problem posing here, end quote. I noticed that not only did I have the same opinion as her, but Donald did as well. He says, quote, most classes are problem posing education, but some use the banking system, like in organic chemistry, end quote. With Donald's interview, I focused more on the reading Live and Learn from an End. I asked him why he thought most people were going to college. He says, quote, nowadays because it is expected that without a college degree you aren't going to get very far, but really some degrees aren't actually needed, but they may help, end quote. To me, it seemed that all three of us fell into Menand's theory too, which is, quote, in a society that encourages its members to pursue the career paths that promise the greatest personal or financial rewards, people will, given a choice, learn only what they need to know for success, end quote. I think that's really because we are science majors and focus on learning the skills to be successful in our career.
For my interviews, I chose to interview a friend of mine named Lauren, who is also going through the STEM Ed program with me, where she's getting her mathematics degree. And when asked about Boise State, she said it was just a means to an end and that it had served its purpose, which was getting a degree. She felt like we go to school so that we can get our degree and we move on. And that is why we're there, and that's what we do. And then with Nicole, she is a business owner, and her husband were military, but she now stays home with her kids. And she said that she would do it again, and she does not regret it. Her husband and her both got degrees, and it helped them to get the rank they needed in the military so that they could get more money, which fits the third theory from Mendan, in which it says that an advanced economy demands specialized knowledge and skills, and high school can only get us so far. Therefore, they continued on through college to serve a purpose and be done as soon as they could.
Hello, my name is Victor McKay. I interviewed two individuals I know who attended Boise State University. The purpose of my interviews is to determine why it was they chose to attend Boise State. During the interviews, both cited good reasons as to why they chose to attend. The interview that sticks out the most to me is an interview I did with my friend named Hank. Hank liked Boise State because he thought, quote, Boise State was great because the classes in your degree plan will all have some relevance in the field you're going into, and the majority of the teachers are great at doing their jobs. Most of them actually ensure that you're constantly learning what it is they are teaching you, unquote. Hank liked the fact that the school was set up to where he could learn and that what he was learning actually applied to his degree. I believe Hank's reasons tie in well with Socrates and Paulo Freire's ideas on education because their approach to education was from the point of view that education isn't a one-way street where teachers just give a lecture to a student and then that's the end of it. Education is more so where teachers and students actually engage in conversation and engage in meaningful dialogue that forces people to think and therefore leading the students to get a better education overall. During the course of these interviews, I learned a lot. Mainly, a lot of different people have different reasons for attending BSU, but they all go there for the same end state of trying to learn something. And knowing what I know now from the interviews, I feel better attending Boise State, and I believe that my expectations of this university will be met as well.
John Locke's theory of empiricism declares knowledge as structured by individual experiences, and that evidence is the base of formed intellect. There is emphasis on the comprehension of knowledge coming from the right mindset. The experience that one of my interviewees seemed to possess included traits counter to Locke's ideas. She felt as if work that was given posed lack of purpose for future career qualifications. This was interesting because the initial purpose of her attending school was to gain experience for the future. It is possible, however, that she was focused on gaining a narrow understanding of a subject for the sole purpose of an advancement of career, and that she was unable to open to the possibility of learning to love the expansion of knowledge gained. When students focus on completion solely for one specific purpose rather than learning for the sake of knowledge, there seems to be a lack of well-rounded self-improvement, therefore ultimately defeating what some think to be the main objective of gaining a higher education. Locke also stressed that instruction of education needs to be more than just reciting information. This refers to the role that teachers must play in the development of minds, ultimately guiding the individual to seek information for themselves. This is the daunting task of teaching students to enjoy seeking the evidence to form intellect.
Knowing the difference between gaining an education for yourself or others is important. You're more likely to succeed going for yourself, and by doing so, you're also more likely to enjoy the job that you find yourself in afterwards. This means that in lower paying jobs, it may not be a significant role on your impact in choosing to work there. And it also might be the difference between contention and bliss. Colby stated, because of the varied times and workload, it meant sacrificing a part of his life in order to choose a degree. Choosing to go to college or seek education doesn't make us better than anyone else. We begin to realize over time we're all parts of a clock and we run more smoothly together. Whether we choose to believe it or not, our past plays an important part of our futures. Those who chose to separate themselves in the past, such as Locke and Menand, chose to do so by contributing to the future, which has so far led us to today. By choosing to be content with our current civilization, we only serve to inhibit advancement in the future. Only with persistence and desire to push ourselves further will honor those who did the same in our past. By doing that, we are ensuring we keep the liberties we have and also offer them to the future.